What is going on, everybody? This is Drew here. I want to welcome you all to a brand new episode of Phoenix Down. This is Phoenix Down episode 109.0. As everybody who is listening to this knows, unfortunately, 108.2 is dead. We recorded an hour and 8 minutes, and my recorder died on me as I hit the stop button. And I don't have the heart to do that again.
Rest in peace, recording.
Yeah. Matt is with us today.
Hello.
And I feel like we need to at least address Yakuza 3's, as a whole. Just a quick little how we felt about the game. As I said on the previous show, that will never be. I think it was pretty good. It was definitely a product of its time, but I think I prefer the story to this over Yakuza 1 and 2, if we're being honest. I feel like they tried to flesh out the characters a little bit more, including the new ones. Sure, the gameplay is very PlayStation 3, but and there was some pacing issues here and there, but I think it was actually really good, and I enjoyed my time with it. Matt, how about you?
Yeah, I think we're pretty much exactly aligned on Yakuza 3. I feel essentially the same way. Everything you just said rings true to me. I did like it a bit more than 1 and 2. Definitely wasn't as polished, and it definitely did have some pacing issues. But I did like the characters. I did, in the end, think it was worth all the wasted time in the orphanage. It was a little strange while going through it, but I enjoyed the characters, enjoyed the mystery, enjoyed the getting to see some old faces and some new faces. I liked basically everyone in the Okinawa branch. I had a good time with it.
Absolutely.
Especially after expecting it was going to be terrible.
Yeah, that's true too. But to say all of that, I just want to say that since we lost the recording, we are trying a new method. Matt is recording his dialogue while I'm recording my dialogue, and we're going to splice those together. So there may be some growing pains. I'm not sure yet. Hopefully everything syncs up fine. But if it doesn't, please bear with me. I'm new at this. So, let me see. Hang on a second here. Let me see if I can find. I don't think I have it. Our email has been really bad lately. I haven't been getting our emails, and we have fixed this issue. So Drew at ZTGD.com works again. Unfortunately, anything previous to that, I do not have anymore.
Ooh, not just episodes that are lost.
No. Any email that was sent is gone. So unfortunately, Dustin, your email for the final episode of Yakuza 3 is lost in the ether, unfortunately. So I was going to read it out, but I do apologize for that. But everything is fixed. I have the email working. I actually have an inbox now. Ken worked his butt off today to get that to me. So we're good there. And that's good that we do, because we have 3 emails to go over for this new series, which is Hideo Kojima's 2019 epic Death Stranding.
I'm glad to see there's some interest in it.
Yeah. Anytime Kojima is mentioned, everybody kind of perks up a little bit. I wouldn't say I have lost faith in Kojima. I still enjoy a lot of his games, but after Metal Gear Solid 5, I was a little sour.
Me too, but that's tough because 3 and 4 I thought were excellent. So
this is true. I mean, a lot's been riding on Kojima before Death Stranding came out, because we had Metal Gear Solid 5, which I didn't think was a very good Metal Gear game. Then Silent Hills was supposed to be a thing, and then that didn't happen. And then he released a trailer with Norman Reedus on a beach with a baby and a bunch of weird stuff happening, and Norman's naked, and I was just like, what the hell is this? And then it comes up saying Death Stranding, and I'm like, what the hell does that even mean?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a real phrase.
Yeah. And I was kind of done. When I saw Death Stranding the first time, I was like, okay, that's just weird for being weird because that's Kojima. And the next time, every time I heard about that game, I kind of just toned out. I was like, I don't know if I even care about this at all. And then when the game came out, well, I guess we're going into our history, but when the game came out, I was just like, I really don't have any desire to play this game, especially whenever I saw reviewers and Ken talking about it and stuff like that. And he was saying this game's freaking weird. It's like a walking simulator. You're just delivering stuff. And then as he continued on, he's like, okay, so it actually does have a lot more to it, but it takes you like 30 hours to get there. And I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
Like, why would you do this? I was like, I have no need to play this game. The thing is like they gave us like multiple copies for Game of the Year deliberation. So King gave me a copy, and I played about 2 hours of it and said, I'll come back to this one day, but I don't know when, because I was just like, those 2 hours was just like, I can't even wrap my head around this. It's like, it's just so freaking weird. It's so Kojima. So, I mean, but here we go. Now, 2 years later, I'm now playing it because people were kind of sour on that game when it first came out. And then I guess after it stewed a little bit in their heads, they're like, this game is actually genius. So I want to see that.
Yep, and I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. I've enjoyed so many of his games so much that, you know, I don't need too much prodding to get back into one.
Right. And that's kind of how I feel. So how about you, Matt, as far as the lead up to it?
Yeah, we essentially ended in a similar place around launch, but I came into it, when I saw that first trailer, I was super hooked. I was like, this looks awesome. It looks so weird. It looks so mysterious. You know, how interesting is this game going to be? You know, I already kind of knew that, or expected the gameplay to be at least okay, because I've enjoyed playing the Metal Gear games. And then with how weird the trailer was, the first one especially, just coming out of nowhere, and then, you know, one or two more that came out after it, that kind of maintained that air of just strangeness and so many different things happening that don't, on the surface, seem related to each other. So I don't know. I was in from the first trailer, loved the first trailer. I'm pretty sure as soon as I saw it, I was posting on Twitter about being excited for it. And then it was just a long time until anything happened beyond seeing trailers and wanting to play it. Because then, you know, I kind of got funneled down the same path that you just mentioned, where I was interested in it, but then when it came out, I remember reviews being a little bit lackluster. I remember kind of the conversation being a little bit that it's repetitive, or it's a little boring, or it takes too long to get into it. And I don't know why I didn't end up picking it up, because I didn't think that type of commentary would actually dissuade me from it. So I never decided not to pick it up. I think I was just busy playing other games, and you know, given that there wasn't that kind of fever pitch fervor when it came out, I figured I would get to it at some point. And I never really did until, I want to say maybe a year ago, I finally picked it up when it was on sale for $25 or $30. And I just said, well, it's all right. I know I'm going to play it at some point. So as soon as I was in the buying mood, I think maybe last year, Black Friday, I picked it up in a few other games. But even then, I never installed it. I had a bunch of other games that I was trying to play. It's also the problem of picking up 4 games at one time. It's like the opposite of childhood gaming. It's one game every 6 months. Here it's 4 games on the same day. What do? You can't play all of them.
That's true. So let me ask you this, because there's something we have to mention. This game came out in 2019 on the PlayStation 4, exclusively on the PlayStation 4. Are you playing the PlayStation 4 version of this game, or are you playing the PlayStation 5 version of this game?
Yeah, so I bought the PlayStation 4 version of this game, and then I installed it, and remembered that there was a PS5 upgrade path, and there's no way I would want to play this game other than in its best possible light. So I am playing the PS5 version, the director's cut.
Okay. Yeah, I am playing the PlayStation 4 version because I do not own a PlayStation 5. It is also, I believe the director's cut is also on PC.
Okay.
I think it's on Steam.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't have a PC that can run that. So I'm playing on the PlayStation 4, and let me tell you, that thing sounds like a jet engine while I'm playing this game. I think it's like getting ready to die or something. But, so yeah.
There's quite a lot of upgrades for it, so, it's more than just a remastering, which is kind of cool, or upping the res.
From what I understand, they actually add a whole new area to the game.
Yep, new areas, new firing range. They changed the combat. There's more missions. There's more items. Apparently, there's a buddy bot that helps you carry things.
Oh, jeez, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
So, I don't even know how to start with this game. I mean, I can start with like the just the opening cutscene.
Could unpack that for an entire episode.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like the first probably 20 to 30 minutes of this game is just like, what? But, so Norman Reedus, that's one of the things that got to me. I'm not the biggest fan of Norman Reedus.
I'm not either, but I like the selection and the caliber of actor in this game. Right, just looking on the surface at Norman Reedus and Mads Mikkelsen, they're big budget Hollywood actors, but they're not like top tier.
Yeah, I would say Mads is definitely higher caliber than Norman Reedus is.
Yeah, and Mads Mikkelsen is definitely an interesting actor, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Norman Reedus, he's certainly been in some well-regarded shows and movies, but I'm not sure that any of that was necessarily up to his acting content to be in that kind of discussion or consideration. But
Sure.
I also don't know that he's ever detracted from anything I've seen him in.
Right.
He's just kind of been there, and in my mind, seeing him in this, it's most directly The Walking Dead, right? He's kind of a bit of a loner.
He looks exactly like he does in The Walking Dead.
Yeah, and he's an outcast, and yada yada yada. Doesn't really want to integrate with society. So that was my direct comparator in that, and I'm like, yeah, all right. I guess the actor's fine, and the vibe fits the theme of the character. So sure, go with it.
Norman Reedus always looks like he hasn't showered in like 2 weeks.
Despite the fact that I shower every 5 minutes in this game.
Yeah, right. So, but yeah, Norman Reedus is our main character. His name is Sam Porter Bridges.
Yeah, the names in this game are absurd.
The names in this, I'm going to stop right here because I have to bring this up. Sure, Kojima has dumb names. The thing that gets me, especially with this game, is that there are. Why do we use the same word for so many things?
Yeah, it's like they're not actual names. It's like It's like a mix of names and like call signs and code names and nicknames. Yeah, it's like there's so many bridges. Everything's got bridges in it.
So Bridges is the governmental company that he works for. That's also his last name, but I think it's just a moniker.
Yeah, I think so too. Like Porter. He is a Porter, but his name is Porter.
Yeah. But he used to be a Strand. So here, that's where I was going to go with. He used to be a Strand, which I guess is a last name. He used to be a Strand. The game is called Death Stranding, so that's the title of the game. On top of that is an event that took place in the story of the game. There's also an item called a strand that you use.
Yeah, they could have named that anything else.
They could have named it rope.
Yep.
They could have named it rope. Why did he call it I'm just like, why did he choose to do this stuff? And I get it. He does this dumb alliteration crap. It's dumb. It gets on my freaking nerves sometimes when he does this stuff because it gets confusing. I'm just like, it feels like you're getting beat over the head with his message.
Yeah, is a very simple version of the point just that everything's connected?
I guess.
Somehow.
I guess. So, sorry.
Naming detour.
Sam Porter Bridges is walking along the countryside. Or no, excuse me, he's not walking along the countryside. He's riding on a motorcycle or a
trike.
Trike, I guess.
A motor trike.
And he's going along the countryside and he's coming over a cliff and he doesn't see that there is a person standing in front of him and he looks like he hits the person. He then crashes the bike and it starts to rain. Now, when it starts to rain, he automatically has this hood that comes up over him and he sees the person that he hit or almost hit, and it is a woman. She shows up because he goes to take refuge in a cave because the rain in this game is bad. And while he's in this cave, she then kind of sneaks up on him and is trying to keep him quiet because while the rain is going on, there are these invisible beings that will chase him down, and he's trying to hide from them. These invisible beings are known as BTs.
Which doesn't help the confusion aspect when things are referred to by acronyms.
Yes. I still don't know what BT stands for.
I do, I think, but only because I saw it referenced somewhere.
Like in the game so far?
No, in some review somewhere.
Gotcha. Okay. So I don't know what BT stand for. But these BTs are invisible creatures that the only thing you can see from them are handprints. And they look like actual handprints, but they're oversized and they can go anywhere. It's not just like a handprint, like something stepping. They can be like an inch away from you and they're not touching you.
Yeah, I was a little confused by that, and also the relationship between when you can see their outline. They don't even appear to have hands, so how does that smoky being... Is it some part of it that we can't see that causes the print or manifestation in this world?
I don't know.
There's definitely a lot of mysteries that I hope some of the emails that we've received spark.
Yeah, I've been reading them, trying to. So the woman is there. She's trying to hold him back and protect him. He doesn't like being touched. And this BT is walking along the walls, walking on the ceiling, then walking right around them, that kind of thing. Also, it looks like it gets colder. You can see your breath whenever they're around. But they go away. The woman introduced herself as Fragile. She also works for a company called Fragile.
Doesn't surprise me.
And she mentions they have a conversation about the time fall. Time fall is the rain in this world. Rain in this world, as when it falls, if you get hit by it, it ages you. It ages anything out in the world because the materials that you have on your back can also age because of time fall and deteriorate. Fragile mentions that she's been completely covered by time fall, with I guess the exception of her head. So she's just looks like an 80-year-old woman up under that suit. I don't know.
Everything but the face.
Everything but the face. Must have had a helmet on or something. I don't know. But at the same, I mean, was she completely naked?
Except for the helmet?
Except for the helmet? I don't know. I don't think they'll ever explain that.
And you do see a little bit of that very early in the cutscene, right? Where you see a single drop fall on his hair and it turns gray, and you see birds fall out of the sky and turn gray and die.
Yeah. So, I mean, this stuff is like for real. But, yeah, so, and then on top of that, like this opening cutscene, it just adds like so many confusing things. It's stuff that you wouldn't even think of in like a fever dream. Because there's like these weird little like grub looking things that are also fleshy colored, and they look like little like embryos climbing up nothing. They're just floating in the air, but they look like they're climbing.
Yeah.
She grabs one out of the air and eats it. And she offers one to Sam, and he's like, "Nah, I'm good." And it's just...
Yeah, why is it floating?
What?
Why are they eating it? What's the deal with the rain? What's the deal with the BTs? There's so many mysteries.
Yeah. So...
Which I like, given where I feel like the general impression of this game has gotten to, which is that a lot of the mysteries get answered, then I'm in. Like, all of this is interesting, and the way the game kind of presents some of these things is interesting, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely mysterious, but I don't know. Like I was watching this and I was like, what is going on? But needless to say, she leaves after talking for a little while, and we have to make our way back to Capital Knot City. So Capital Knot City is the capital of the United States now. So
yeah.
after this cataclysm happened, the world has moved on. Not to quote Stephen King, but I can't describe it any other way. The Death Stranding happened at some point, and now this is the world.
Yeah, it reminded me a little bit of Horizon Zero Dawn, just in the fact that, playing it on a PlayStation, there was a big event in the world's past, and since then things have decayed. Obviously, this feels a little bit more supernatural or scientifically supernatural.
Yeah.
But just that you're kind of this rogue character, kind of post-apocalypse.
But yeah, we go back to Capital Knot City, and we meet a man named Dead Man. I call him Dead Man because he used to be a coroner. He's played by Benicio del Toro.
Guillermo del
Toro, not Benicio del Toro. Jesus. They're two Del Toros.
One
Are
of
they
the
related?
Del Toros, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, the famous director is in this game.
As a character, not as a director.
As a character, yeah. And he plays Dead Man. And Dead Man works for Bridges, which is the company that Sam works for. It's also it's a company, but it's also part of the government, or what's left of the government.
Yeah,
it was the last thing the U.S. government established before everything kind of just disconnected. So, but he is doing experiments with what they call BBs,
which are bridge babies.
Bridge babies, yeah.
And they've been working on those for a long time.
Yeah, they've been working on those for a long time. Now, I feel like I'm skipping ahead here because I am on accident, not meaning to here. We go back to town. We run into another porter who is part of the body disposal team. And he says, we got a body we got to take. You got to take out of here. And he asks Sam to help. And they're like, okay, well, we don't have a lot of time. We're going to have to get this body to the incinerator real quick. because we don't know when this person died, but apparently it was a suicide. I was like, okay. So this is when we get introduced to why is it a big deal if somebody's dead? So if somebody dies in this world, their body becomes a ticking time bomb. And by bomb, I mean almost a nuclear explosion.
Yeah.
It creates a crater that's probably about a mile long. And you only have a certain amount of time before they become necro, is what they call it. And that's whenever they blow up. And the explosion is called a void out. You don't want to be anywhere near a dead body when it voids out. So we have to burn the bodies. Well, why don't we just burn the body right here? Well, because bodies in this world, when they're burned, create a chemical known as chiralium.
Yeah, which seems to be all over the place in this world.
Yeah. And chiralium in the air is bad. They haven't actually said why it's bad.
Yeah, I didn't know if it helped facilitate BTs or if it drew them to the area.
I think that's the case, but then again, I could be wrong. Is it toxic to people? I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it had more to do with the BTs, because you pick up chiralium, right, on the ground.
Yeah.
So I didn't think it was, like, toxic. Maybe it is. I thought it had more to do with
attracting BTs.
Yeah, attracting them or strengthening them.
Possibly. So we can't burn the body here. We got to take it to the incinerator, which is up in the mountains. All right. So we put the body on a truck and we drive to the incinerator. We at least try to. Unfortunately, in order to get there fast enough, we have to drive through BT territory.
BTT.
So as we're driving through BT territory, a storm picks up. Usually that means we're in BT territory. BTs show up whenever it starts raining.
Yeah, I've come to loathe storms in this game.
Yeah. And as we're driving through this area, unfortunately, the truck gets attacked by BTs. All the while, this thing's about to blow up. It starts leaking this black, which I'm guessing is chiralium.
Yeah.
This black goo.
Starts floating up into the air.
Yep. And we unfortunately crash our vehicle. Waking up, Sam sees the guy he was talking to trying to help the other driver who is now stuck up under the vehicle. And they're in the middle of this rain, this timefall rain, and they have a machine. All these porters have machines on their backs that point and help point out where BTs are. Because BTs, you can't see them. And I have to give this game credit. When I'm in BT territory and that little arm is blinking and pointing in all these different directions, that's a really good moment.
Yep, it's a really good moment because it's tense.
It's tense as hell.
Yeah, and it's not really just pure stealth. Like, Metal Gear, you think stealth. And this is more like avoidance, but it's not only stealth. There is a bit of stealth involved. But, yeah, getting through it, figuring out a way through it, having an indicator as to which is the closest, and the fact that it speeds up the closer you are, like ratchets up the intensity. All of those interactions have been good so far.
Yeah, absolutely. So the entire band gets attacked by BTs. The guy who we were talking to gets grabbed by one and starts floating up into the air. And I guess he realizes I'm not going to make it out of this, so he shoots himself in the head. Because I guess he just doesn't want to be taken by the BTs, which makes you think, what the hell happens if a BT gets you? And I guess the body in the truck has a void out.
Yep.
Because we die, and it blows up. And we now find ourselves... I take that back. Before that, the guy, before he gets grabbed by the BT, he takes his BB off, which is this little compartment that he keeps on his chest that has a baby in it. And he gives it to Sam and says, "Here, take this." And that's when he dies. So Sam does port into the BB. He then experiences the void out, and from what I understand, he's dead. But we are then find ourselves in what looks like an ocean. And we have to swim back to Sam's body. So I'm guessing we're his soul.
Yeah, and it's like an ocean, but it's not just a random ocean. It's like where you just were, but underwater, right?
Is it? Where did you get that information?
I don't know. That was just what I read into it. That it was like whatever the crater ends up becoming, but full of water.
Okay.
Maybe that's not the case. I'm not sure.
I don't know. So we swim back to Sam's body. We enter into Sam's mouth, go down his throat. The baby is now in his throat. The baby gives us a thumbs up, and then we go into the baby's throat. Then we wake up. Sam's back alive again. This is the first hour and a half of this game, and I'm just like, what? But Sam wakes up, and he looks out and sees this giant crater.
Was it in that first event that we saw whatever appeared to be like a 20-story tall person or monster? Or...
Yeah.
I don't know what that was either, because we've encountered a lot of other things in this game so far, but that thing from that cutscene has not been seen since. Right.
Have you been caught by a BT, Matt?
I have.
Okay.
I feel like this whole game so far, up until the last 10 minutes of what I played, has been a lot of teasing when it comes to encounters. Not having weapons initially, being able to run away, one time just being caught because I wasn't sure what to do, one other time being caught but then escaping. I haven't actually had the ability to take on any enemies.
Okay.
But I have definitely evaded and succumbed to every type of attack that has come at me.
Okay. So I've been straight up just captured by BTs before.
Yep.
So when I got captured, what happens is when a BT spots me and is now on me, I'm now surrounded by this black sludge. There are then what looks like arms and torsos reaching out of the sludge to try and grab me. I then have the ability to shake them off of me by hitting square. And I'm trying to make it to the edge of the sludge. It's basically like a puddle has now assimilated in front of me.
Yeah.
If I can get out of the puddle before they grab a hold of me and pull me, I'm okay. I can run away. If I can't make it out, they grab me and pull me, and now I'm in what looks like a river or a lake of sludge.
Yeah, this one is definitely in the same area, but transformed into some netherworld version of where you were.
Yeah. And then there is a giant beast-looking creature that comes out of the sludge occasionally, almost like a dolphin or something. And it's trying to attack me.
Yeah, like some kind of Cthulhu whale.
Exactly. So, and I have fought those off. I have killed one of those.
I have not. I've seen them 2 or 3 times, been eaten once by it, and ran away twice, I think.
Okay. So I have not died again. I have not found myself in a lake and had to swim back to my body again.
Yeah, I definitely voided out once.
Yeah. I've killed 2 BTs, one of which was a scripted one. And the other one was when I was trying to get to the wind farm, I got caught.
Yeah. In the little foresty part?
In the foresty part with all the rocks and stuff, yeah.
Yep.
And I was like, oh boy, here we go. That was my first BT fight, but I actually won that one.
I also think you're a fair bit farther than I am.
Yeah. I have had my official first boss fight of this game.
Definitely have not.
Yeah. Oh, you'll know it when you see it. Yeah, so, I guess that's the best thing. Like, after that, we go back to Capital Knot City, and we meet up with Dead Man. That's when we meet up with Dead Man. Dead Man tells us that the President of the United States wants to talk to us, and Sam's like, there is no President of the United States anymore. What are you talking about? And they're like, yeah, there is. And we want to go meet with them. Unfortunately, the president is in the late stages of cancer. She's not going to make it. And it's also Sam's mom.
Yeah, this is another part where the game seems to be like overly convergent.
My thing is that why did Sam even say that? Did he forget that his mom was the president of the United States?
Yeah, or did he think she was dead?
Or did he, yeah, like I don't like I can't. For the life of me, I'm just like, this whole cutscene kind of confused me. I'm just like, okay, and then on top of that, like, all right, let's talk about this. So we meet with Dead Man. We then meet another character that's going to be with us, Die Hard Man.
Sure.
So,
because he's a tough guy, he's a hard man.
No. So I know why they call him that.
Yeah.
So he is the same as Sam. So it's explained, or it's not explained. It's just said that Sam can't die because he is a repatriate. What was it called?
Repatriate.
Repatriate, which means that no matter what happens to him, he can always return back to his body and be alive again. And apparently Die Hard Man is one of them as well. So because of that, Sam has special abilities that allow him to cheat death. On top of that, Sam is also a sufferer of a condition called DOOMS. DOOMS, and it's all caps, which means it stands for something, but I don't know what it stands for. And DOOMS is a condition where a human being has a sort of connection to the BTs. And because of that, certain ones can see them. Fragile mentions it. She says she has full-on dooms, which means she can just straight up see BTs. There's another guy in Capital Knot City, the researcher. I can't remember what that guy's name is.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
He has dooms as well. You know who I'm talking about, though, right? The guy with the glasses?
Yep.
The scientist guy? He has dooms as well. Sam has a partial sense of dooms, which means he can't fully see BTs, but he can sense when they're around.
It also gives them a resistance to chiral contamination?
Correct. So, anyway, we say all that to then go to this cutscene. Die Hard Man, who is a guy wearing a mask that looks like a skull. Why? I don't know.
Usually a sign of a bad guy?
Usually, but this guy seems like he's like our Colonel Campbell.
Yeah, good for now, I guess.
Yeah. So, he is basically kind of like the right-hand man to the president, who is Bridget. Bridget Strand is her name.
Of course, Bridge and Strand.
Yeah. And Bridget is lying on a hospital bed, what looks like the Oval Office.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And it's actually not the Oval Office, but it's all just a ruse. And she's there, and she wants to speak to Sam. And Sam is as far as I know, Sam is Bridget's son. At least that's what he has said. And she's saying that we need to bring America together. To which Sam's like, there is no America. You don't get it. It's over. Stop trying. And she says, it's all up to you now. And as she is having this conversation, she actually gets out of the bed. She's trying to convince Sam to go on this mission. And then she falls over out of the bed and then dies basically in Sam's arms, but he kind of pushes himself away. And when she unhooks herself, so she's connected to a whole bunch of stuff to this bed. When she unhooks herself, all this black goo pops out. What's with the black goo with that?
Yeah, especially with her.
Yeah.
Right, if it's tied
I thought
to
that
BTs.
stuff. Yeah, I thought that stuff was tied to BT. What's going on? But anyway, everybody rushes in. She doesn't make it. And that's when Die Hardman and Dead Man tell Sam, you're the only portal we got left.
I thought this was going to be like Kiryu. Seems like every time somebody dies, Kiryu's there, and he's accused of it.
Of course.
In this case, I'm like, oh, Sam's just, same thing's going to happen.
You killed the president. Oh my God. So yeah. They're like, okay, you're the only porter we got left. We need to get rid of this body.
I mean, the world here is clearly in a tough state, but if there's literally only one porter that can do this, even worse off than it looks like.
Yeah, but they also want to use him to basically, I don't know, convince him to do this mission to I guess, reconnect the United States.
Because he's so tied in to the president? Like, why? Because he's got dooms?
Because he's got dooms, because he's a repatriate, whatever, the guy who can't die. He's a diehard man. And he's a porter, so he knows how to go to different places and travel well. I don't know. But they explained to him that he needs to burn Bridget's body because she will void out if he doesn't.
At least that so far makes sense with the way the game world has been established.
Right.
At least something isn't a brand new mystery.
Yeah. I get that. All right, we got to do this, otherwise we're all dead.
Yep.
So I'm fine with that. So our first delivery mission is actually to basically cremate his mom.
Yep. Now it's God of War.
Yep. And so we have to travel with her, and this is where we learn the basics of Death Stranding, which is putting things on our back and delivering them to places. Usually on foot.
Yeah.
So this is the main crux of this game. Going from place to place and taking things there.
I do want to say I thought that was going to be worse.
What do you mean?
I thought that given the description of what you do in this game, and given still that lingering feeling based on reviews or commentary that all you do is walk around and deliver things, I thought it was going to be more boring. But between the obstacles, between unlocking new areas, between BTs and mules, between, the way that they've integrated kind of other players into the game, like all that stuff, at least so far, I think has kept it reasonably interesting. Like, I've even only recently picked up the trike again for use in the game, so that's changed up the traversal dynamics a bit. So it hasn't yet gotten stale in the way that I expected it to.
Right.
Though it's still pretty early.
Yeah, it hasn't gotten stale for me yet. There were a few hikes that I've done, especially getting to Port Knot City. That's a heck of a hike.
That's the one I'm on now, for the record.
Yeah. And I don't have my trike, so I lost my trike to a river.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, I had to walk it.
Oh, not a trip I want to hoof.
No, well, yeah, it sucked, but yeah. So yeah, we have to take the body to the incinerator. All right, and this is not a bad hike. It's basically a tutorial showing you how to lean properly, how to keep things from overbearing Sam, making him fall over. And once we make it to the incinerator, we decide to burn Bridget. And while we're there, Deadman's like, "Go ahead and burn the other package." We open it up and we're like, "What is it?" And it's a BB. It's that BB that was given to us by the guy before the void out. And before Sam can decide if he wants to burn the baby or not, the room starts to get cold, starts to rain outside. BTs are here, and it's going to get bad real soon. So Sam, instead of burning the BB, hooks up to it and decides, "I'm going to use it to try and get out of this BT territory." So we have to run away. So when we're in BT territory and we're surrounded by them, we have the what is that machine called? The arm.
It's called it starts with a D.
I can't remember what it's called. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, I just saw it. I was just looking at it. Oh, the Odrarek? Odrarek?
Odorak?
Odrarek?
Okay. So,
it's also the thing that does the scans, which I do all the time. Right, if you just tap R1.
Right. So, yeah. We have that with us. It can help us point out BTs or the location of them. But BB is also supposed to help us be more connected to the BT so we can spot them better.
Yeah, I was going to ask how those two things interact with each other. If he's already got this ability to sense them, it seems
maybe it just heightens it?
Yeah, maybe it heightens it, but it seems like the thing that it clearly does, the BB clearly does, is provide these weird, like, shared memories.
Yeah.
And that seems clearly attributable to the BB. But I don't know what part of the gameplay of detecting the BTs you wouldn't be able to do if you didn't have a BB with you.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Right, if it was just Sam and the Otorek, seems like the Otorek can point them out and Sam should be able to sense them, so I'm not sure what would happen if we lost BB.
Maybe it's just Doom's sufferers that can use the BBs. I don't know. But yeah.
But that lady in the cutscene didn't have a BB, right?
He's fragile?
Yeah, fragile.
No.
So she can
As
just
far-
see them.
As far as I know.
Yeah, as far as I know, yeah.
Yeah.
So he should be able to sense them even without a BB. But
Yeah. There's more to Fragile than what you think, Matt.
that you've experienced so far?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, you run back into her at the very beginning of chapter 3. And, yeah. There's a lot more to her.
Interesting.
So, yeah. We have to get out of BT territory, make it back down to capital, not city. And when we do, we get the rundown of Die Hardman. So, Die Hardman tells us that basically he gives us a little history lesson. 3 years ago, I'm going to go ahead and just say, I thought it was his sister. Is it because
Amelie?
Amelie?
I thought it was his sister as well.
Okay, I thought it was his sister. I'm not sure. At this point, I'm not sure. But Amelie 3 years ago made the trek from the East Coast to the West Coast. And she tried to connect everybody, city to city, to basically be on what they call the chiral network. Now, the chiral network, I'm starting to learn through both the emails and the interviews, as well as just piecing things together. And I could be wrong about this. But the chiral network is more than just a communications thing. It is more than just a internet, if you want to put it that way. And I don't know if you want me to get into my theory or not.
Ooh, I feel like not quite yet. I'm going to be there so soon.
Yeah, you're going to be there really soon. So I may hold off, and I'm gonna try to glance over the emails that we get and make sure nothing is brought up. I know we said that we'd make it to the beginning of chapter 3. Matt hasn't got there just yet. That's okay. You get a lot more stuff. Definitely read the interviews, read the emails, because they really do hint at a lot of stuff that could be going on. But Amelie went across the United States. It took her 3 years to get there, and she connected all the major cities and everything in between.
Which is funny, because at the rate that Sam is traversing across the U.S., it should take him about an hour to walk the entire width of the United States.
I said that as well. So, yeah. But we already know time's broken in this game.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So, what they want us to do is basically reconnect the United States again. Apparently, there is no president of the United States. At least that's what Sam says. Well, no, there is. And they have established Amelie as the new president of the United States, but she looks exactly like her mom, but younger.
I thought that makes sense. I thought they had kind of come up with a hologram of the mother to convince people that she was still alive.
So yes, but she's. I don't know what's happening with her yet. From what I understand, and this is what was said in the cutscene, she is in what I guess is California. She's on the West Coast. And she is in a city that has been taken over by the extremists. They have her in custody, but they're not doing anything to her. They're treating her well. But she is able to project this hologram and talk to everybody. But she also makes the claim that she's on the beach. and it's a weird thing that she said where like, I can't touch you because I'm still on the beach, is what she says.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, does that mean the West Coast, like the beach of the Pacific Ocean, or does it mean something having to do with this blackened beach where the whales come from?
I think it has something to do with the blackened beach, because you will see a little bit later on and read the emails, because it seems to me that the beach is the bridge.
Between worlds?
Between worlds. From wherever these BTs come from and to the world that Sam is living in, I think. And there are some people who can come to the beach freely and some people who can never leave the beach. Because she mentions, it was Sam. She was like, you've grown older.
Yeah.
I will never grow older because I'm always on the beach. And I'm like, what? So I'm still fuzzy on that. So Sam agrees, even though he thinks it's a lost cause. So we begin our delivery service, Kiki's delivery service, across the United States. And the first order of business is going to what looks like Ohio. So I don't know. Which took me 10 minutes. So I went from what looks like Virginia to Ohio in 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's Speedy Walker.
Yes, he is. And that's what we're mainly doing right here, is going back and forth. So we learn a few things. So we start seeing structures being created by other players, which, sometimes help. Sometimes it's just there for them to get likes, which apparently likes in this game mean nothing. So
I read somewhere that it's tied to the more likes that you give on structures, the more other people's structures show up in your game.
Okay.
Which
that I can see that.
Which is helpful because of, the rock climbing spikes or the ladders or the bridges all do help traversal. Yeah,
that's true. And you can create your own structures, and they may show up in other people's games as well. And that's basically what this, Matt, where you're at right now is basically like the tutorial of how to play Death Stranding. You really are still kind of in the tutorial.
It's a long tutorial.
It is a very long tutorial because you're still introducing stuff. Oh, now you can do this. Now you can do this. Now you can do this. So the biggest thing is, you're learning stuff. Like you're going to get weapons. You've received a few weapons to help fight against BTs, and it's all because of how special Sam is. So they're using Sam's excrement and bodily functions and creating weapons out of it, because his body is resistant. Because he's a repatriate to the BTs. And they're thinking that they could use that against them. So, to start with, when he showers, they try to take his shower water, and they actually make a kind of a low-grade little grenade that you can use on them. It doesn't do much damage, but it does some. Eventually, he'll have to use the bathroom. They use their urine. He gets a grenade from his urine. If he poops, he gets poop grenade.
Are they functionally different, or is it just like level 0, level 1, level 2?
They all play the exact same. It's like you lob a grenade at something.
Yeah, because I haven't used any of those 3 yet. I've only used the other ones that were created.
Which ones?
Isn't there one that they just give you as in a mission? They give you some just like anti-BT grenades.
Is that the blood one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the blood ones are the heavy hitters. Or at least so far in the game that I've got to. The blood ones are, you throw those, you're going to do some damage.
Yeah, that's all I've used so far.
Yeah. So, they're using his body to try to fight off the BTs. Along with that, you can also create structures. You can use a ladder. You can full on create like a 3D print instantly. A giant bridge that you can put up, all sorts of different structures, generators, that kind of thing.
Watchtowers, generators, yeah.
Yeah. And that's where my theory comes into play, because there are some emails and some interviews that you need to read because they explain some of that. Mm. So, yeah. The only other thing that I can actually bring up and mention is that every time we hook up to BB, we get a shared memory from the BB. And they all have to do with Mads Mikkelsen. And it's seen through the baby's eyes, and I've had multiple happen, and it is basically him talking to the BB, and he even said, "It's Daddy." So I'm guessing he's the father of this child?
Yeah, I think so, because they talk a lot about, the mothers. They still use the mothers so that they can calibrate the womb-like environment for the BB. So, whatever happened at one point, they were talking about the mother being gone. So, BB was maybe stillborn, and they may or may not have kept the mother alive. So,
yeah,
this little family trio.
So it sounds like, because Dead Man mentions specifically that the BB will occasionally have to be hooked back up to the mother. From what I understand, they have a facility where they have all of these brain dead mothers who they keep alive, who still are connected to a machine that then connects to wherever you connect to the BB. And it basically replicates the mother's womb. The babies are pulled from the mother's womb before they're born. The reason why is because the BBs have a connection to the other world because they have not been born yet.
Which is it's almost like they're making a statement on when life begins.
Yeah.
But it's also weird because they very clearly are alive. They're forming memories. They're seeing things. They're digesting things.
Yeah,
they're able to give a thumbs up.
One of the things that he flicked off Dead Man, if you remember.
Yeah.
One of the things that Dead Man tries to push is their equipment. You don't get attached to these things.
Yeah.
They are something you use. It is not a pet or a child. But it seems like Sam is kind of grown to like the little guy. So, but yeah, and I can't explain the memories. It's very short, usually about 20 seconds tops, and it's just this guy talking to the baby.
Yep, and I'm trying to think, have they given any indication? They said the BBs only last a year, right? Usually they peter out and they get retired after a year.
Yes.
So, at first, my thought was, oh, this is like the distant past. But thinking that BB can't be more than a year old, like anything that happened is actually still really fresh. And so Mads Mikkelsen presumably is still alive.
I guess.
I mean, we haven't seen any indication that he's not alive, I guess. My initial thought was, oh, this is the past, he's probably dead already, but that's not really the case.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah. I guess anything could be true here with time.
This is true. So, it's basically running back and forth. There's one other thing I should mention is that there are enemies in this game called mules. Mules used to be porters. Some of them used to be really good porters. And they are suffering from a mental illness that they have an obsession with delivering things. All right. That's it. I mean, I've been told by Ken, don't kill them. If you kill them, in about a day, they cause a void out.
What?
Yes. Do not kill anybody living in this game, Matt.
Have I killed a mule? I don't think so. I've knocked them
No.
out.
Yeah. You need to knock them out. Use non-lethal ways. Because if you don't, and you don't dispose of the body, it will cause a void out.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But how do you actually even kill them? Because all I've been able to do so far is square attack to knock them out or bind them with my strand.
That's all I've done too.
Okay.
But I'm sure later on you probably get a gun,
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, I assume so.
So, and from what I understand, it's a bad time if you don't dispose of the body properly.
And that probably means trekking all the way to the incinerator?
I think so.
Oh, interesting.
So don't kill anybody. But that's what we're basically doing is going back and forth. You did run into the, no, you haven't made it to Port Knot City yet.
Nope, I'm on my way to Port Knot City.
Okay.
I got the bike, I got the blood grenades, I've now disposed of a few BTs, and I'm just on my way.
Okay. Anything else we need to add? I feel like I've covered every freaking weird thing in this, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's definitely most of it. I mean, I don't know. What are those little Cupid things that are on his necklace that he uses?
I have no clue. That is the thing. We forgot about that. The Cupid is a necklace that apparently is infused with beryllium that you can use at different knots, so different checkpoints where people live, I guess, to connect them to the chiral network back at Capital Knot City. That's the only thing I can think of. And when he puts it, and when he activates it, it makes him float in the air, and it shows up weird like physics notes.
Yeah.
And then there's a, and then that's it.
And then they're connected to the network.
And now they're connected to the network.
Yeah, interesting.
So, I don't know what to think here. I do want to mention this. Apart from Fragile, Dead Man, Die Hard Man, Bridget, and a couple of doctors, those are the only people I've ever physically seen. And I find that very suspicious.
Mm. Like Amelie we haven't seen.
Yeah. Now, have you seen any of Sam's dreams with Amelie? Have you seen anything with Sam on the beach?
I think so.
Okay. So, it seems like Amelie can just talk to him whenever.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of, is that every time I go somewhere, including these large-ass cities that supposedly people live in, I don't see anybody. Nobody walking around.
I guess the mules.
The mules, sure. And then the guys that did the bomb disposal stuff. And there was like some scientists in the capital, not city. But every other place I've been to, including the port, which is a very large area, there's not a soul walking around.
Hmm.
I think there's something up with that.
Yeah, it definitely is suspicious.
I think there's definitely something up with that. But and I've always found it weird that whenever you first make it to a settlement or a knot, their hologram is a little fuzzy. but when you connect them to the chiral network, they're clear.
Yeah.
And I think there's a meaning behind that. But, yeah. I'm going to read off the emails, and I have a statement that I'm going to make, and it's probably wrong, but you know how I like making predictions. So, we're going to go on into the, go ahead and get into the emails here. Let's see here. First one comes in from Chad. He says, "Howdy crew. I'm a little behind the ball, but I at least wanted to get something into you by all this week. First of all, I have never really been a big fan of Kojima, but I've always respected his work. I wasn't expecting much from this game when it was released, and it's now one of my personal favorites from the PlayStation 4 generation. This is my second time playing through the game, but this time I'm playing the Director's Cut on PlayStation 5. I'm pretty excited for this playthrough considering what I know now. For what seemed like absolute gibberish at the beginning of my first playthrough. Personally, that's one of the things I came to really appreciate about this game, how organically things start to make sense after a while. Much like you, I'm sure nothing makes sense at the beginning, but it will eventually. I like to guess what's going to happen in advance, but I like it even more when I'm wrong, or better yet, when I have no clue all the way up into the climax.
I do also think that's just a great way to lay out a game. Like, if you're telling me there's a mystery and you're telling me it all makes sense, that's the way it should be, I feel.
Yes, and I've been burned in the past. So that's why I'm a little reluctant.
Yeah.
Says, I know everyone says everything in this game is fully explained, but I'm not sure I would lean too hard on that. I think mostly everything is explained, but Kojima is still allowed some artistic flexibility, and very rarely is everything fully accommodated when it comes to this game.
Yeah.
Like crossing 3 states on foot in 10 minutes. I want to give you 3 tips for the beginning. Read the emails and interviews under the data menu on your cuff link. You'll start to understand things better and faster. Plus, some of the interviews provide some interesting concepts. Number 2. Eventually, you'll reach a rank where you unlock bridge link strand contacts in the cuff link menu. Under that menu, you can press triangle on people who have played the game, including a separate list of people on your PSN friend list.
Oh, that's cool.
This will create a stronger connection, pulling in resources from their games. I'm Dazed Fly, so you can link with me when you get to that point. I'm about halfway through this playthrough, and I've already built most of the roads. You'll eventually unlock a floating carrier tool. I typically carry one on my back at all times because you never know how big of a load you'll incur throughout your trips. This is especially true of missions that take you into ruins. I usually find a lot of good resources like big bundles of ceramics there, which is useful for building roads. Having a floating carrier can basically double your carrying capacity. You can also ride them pretty safely down hills if they're empty. I don't have that in my game because I'm playing the old version. I think. Right? Didn't you say that was the thing that was they added?
Yeah, assuming that's the buddy bot that helps you. Sounds like it is.
Yeah. My prediction is that this will be a slow burn for Drew, meaning you'll be intrigued and continue playing reluctantly, wondering when the game gets good. As you continue playing and understanding the system, you'll actually begin to really enjoy the gameplay. I have a feeling Matt will be hooked and intrigued from the very beginning and will severely outpace Drew. Sucka.
Not so far.
I'm well past him.
Not so far. I'm about 7 hours in.
I don't know how many hours in I'm in.
Yeah, I'm not sure you have a way to just check it immediately, but every time I drop off cargo, it tells you the runtime.
That's true, yeah. I've done like 1 or 2. If I was going to the place, I may pick up an optional order, but I haven't done many optional orders.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't have many questions prepared yet in general. What is each of your general theories on what's going on? Till next time, and sorry for the rushed email, Chad. So, I have my theory. And I have, I've read things in the game, but I haven't actually read into anything. My prediction, and this is just me, and I feel like the reason why I'm not seeing a lot of people running around this place is because I believe that the people that I'm interacting with are from either another world or another time. Also, I'm going to make a bold prediction and say that the BB that I'm carrying around is actually Sam. Before he was born.
So Mads is his dad?
Maybe.
Interesting. I guess I hadn't played too much with the time of it in my thoughts so far.
There's a specific email or interview that you get, and you're getting close to it, that really solidifies my thoughts on Sam is somebody out of time.
Yeah, okay.
I had to apologize here because my wife is making Christmas ornaments and she's having to hammer. And so you can hear hammering in the background. It's just going to happen. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's definitely some kind of time traveling going on.
Yeah, I'll be curious to read that interview or note, because that is, obviously a lot of the game so far with the time fall does have to do with time. And I'm always down for a good time travel story, so I hope that plays a bigger role than, what I've been envisioning. I was so far basically just trying to think all right, what has actually caused the world to shift in this way? And my first thought obviously was aliens, but I'm going to guess that they would explain it here with something more pseudoscientific.
Sure.
So something like a solar flare, or, a solar flare and there was some comet passing by, or some kind of radiation caused this sticky link between the living world and the dead world.
So I'm not very familiar with it, but I know about it. The theory, the quantum theory of branching paths.
Yeah.
Where I'm actually dead in multiple branching paths because, I don't know, I choked on my drink here or something like that in another life.
Yep, I've read a few good books on that recently.
So I feel like that could be something. There's also the fact that, when you're out in space, time plays differently due to gravitational pulls.
Yep, time dilation.
Which is why things float when they shouldn't be. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
So I feel like that may have something to do with it. And maybe, you're not really dead when you die. You just go somewhere else.
Yep. So
someplace out of time.
So a lot of these are leaning fairly heavy into the sci-fi as the kind of rational explanation.
I mean, it could very well be a paranormal thing with everything is paranormal to somebody who doesn't understand it.
Yep.
So, a ghost may be a real thing, but because we don't understand it, it's paranormal. But there could be a scientific thing about it,
Pretty classic quote. Sufficiently advanced technology.
Yeah, look at the Ghostbusters. They fight paranormal things with science. So
yeah, I mean, there's at this point, there's so many random things that have been floated in the game, and so many ways that these could all be linked together. It's just, in my mind, it's kind of completely wide open at the moment. I need to dive a little more into the interviews, and hopefully I'll get some of these more interesting time-based ones here in the near future.
Yeah, definitely look into that. Whenever you start building stuff, have you made your first like big bridge?
I started one, but I didn't have enough materials to finish it.
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm assuming you made a generator so you could use the trike.
Yep. Okay. And I made a watchtower.
Yeah. There you go. So, you should be getting it pretty close because the email in question has to do with building stuff. So, got 2 more emails.
Interesting. So many options.
Yeah. No, it's really good. This is a long ass email. Okay, Dustin, holy shit. Hey guys, Death Stranding, huh? Where to even start? As the game puts it, it began with a bang. The opening is very impressive with its cinematics and visuals, and as you're walking towards the city, Low Roar's song Don't Be So Serious kicks in. A sensation within me told me that this was something special. Sadly, the magical moment doesn't last very long. It does not sustain throughout the game. Oh boy.
I have liked the audio. Like, it kicks in when you're on these, like, epically long walks.
Yeah.
And this Low Roar seems to be well represented in the soundtrack.
Oh yeah,
it's all very, I don't know. I don't really say interesting. It creates a mood, almost a bit of a melancholy mood as you're walking, which kind of fits the post-apocalypse.
Absolutely. Let's see here. Once you get to town, you get a crash course and a bunch of psychobabble and multiple Kojima-isms to make your head spin. Some you can make out, others probably won't be explained until the end, and the rest you will probably learn along the way. In a way, it's kind of a cheap trick to introduce mysteries to keep you guessing. If Kojima used normal terms, I think we would lose half the guesswork that goes into this game. One of the first characters we meet is Dead Man, who looks like Guillermo del Toro, but has a different voice actor. Wait, that's not Guillermo del Toro?
I assumed it was.
I thought it was too. Maybe I'm wrong. Huh. For some reason, I find this voice actor annoying. I'm also not a fan of whatsoever of using the likeness of celebrities in games. I don't mind them doing mocaps or obviously the voice acting, but when it looks exactly like them, it dampers the experience for me personally. How do you guys feel about it? I mean, everybody in this game is a famous person, it seems like. Bridget is played... Isn't she dead?
The actress?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Or am I wrong?
I'm not sure.
Who is it that plays Bridget? Strand. She was like a big actress in the 70s. Who is that woman? Actress.
I'm hoping I don't get anything weirdly spoiled. Like, oh, it's the same actress that plays Amelie.
Lindsay Wagner, who played the Bionic Woman.
Oh.
Is she still alive? I thought she was dead. Lindsay Wagner is alive and well in Los Angeles, California. So
72.
She's 72. Okay. No, he like for Amelie, like he used her, but her from the 70s.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to it. I don't know. It's fine, I guess. It does seem a little annoying. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think in this game they picked interesting enough actors. You know, I don't really get too much of the Uncanny Valley in this game. Like, I don't find them particularly creepy. I think they're, I don't know if they're past Uncanny Valley, but especially, you know, with Mads Mikkelsen, the way he's kind of blurred out a bit, that seems kind of real. I saw there was a cut scene just with him twirling around and like fake dancing with his presumably dead wife, and then falls to the floor and kind of scoots up against a seat, and all of that just felt real, like the mocap of it. So I don't know, it adds a little bit of gravitas to it, I think.
So I didn't see that cutscene. Holy shit!
I've seen a lot. I guess I've spent a lot of time napping in my personal space so that I can urinate more, so that I can get more bombs. There's a very... Maybe I haven't actually progressed as far in the game as I should have, because I've spent a lot of time doing nothing. But
pissing in the wind.
But every time you leave your personal space is when you get that cutscene, right? When he jacks back into the BB.
Yeah.
So I've had a fair number, 6 or 7 cutscenes anyway.
Let's see here. There's a lot of stuff that happens, and for some reason, when people die, their bodies explode and can level an entire town, so they need to burn them. But they need to do that far away, since the smoke is really bad too. On your way to the incinerator, you encounter BTs that are what? Dead people floating in the air with umbilical cords that touch the ground and make the handprints, but they're using them to search and not walk? I don't know. Nothing makes sense yet. Chad's just laughing at us. Mission goes south. Body explodes. You're a repatriate. I don't know how to pronounce that. He put repatriot. Repatriate. Oh my God, it's the Patriots. The Lule freaking low is back.
It all comes full circle.
Oh my God. I swear to God, if he mentions nanomachines once in this fucking game, I'm going to be really mad. So you can't die. Go meet the president who's dying and is also your mom, but you don't remember, but yet you have the photo of you and her and your sister. Bunch more mumbo jumbo. President is dead. Go incinerate her, and let's reconnect America by delivering the internet to towns. Sam Bridges? No. Call me Al Gore.
Build back better.
Let's get to the bulk of this game. Walking around in the emptiest open world game ever made. It's basically a remake of Desert Bus. You're just heading to your destination, and once in a while you gotta hold R2 or L2 so you don't tip over, kind of like driving a bus and steering left or right so you don't drift off the road. Same concept. This game is boring. Boring as hell. Let's mention this quick. For being a renowned delivery boy, Sam is clumsier than a toddler learning how to walk. You would think this being his job, he would be good at walking and carrying packages. I don't know if you guys have hiked or actually climbed a mountain, whether it's on a trail or off trail, with a load or without. I've done some rigorous hiking with a heavy pack, 60 plus pounds, for multiple days over some rocky terrain, and not once did I come close to toppling over like he does. If you unequip Sam and have nothing on him, he will still fall over. A drunk has more sense of balance than this guy. This world is barren too. You think they could add other CPU porters or hermits or whatever into the world to add some more life into it. It actually makes me think we're in some sort of digital world, and we'll find out in the end it was some sort of simulation BS he pulled in Metal Gear Solid 2. The only people you actually seem to meet face to face are the two guys that die right away. Fragile, Dead Man, Die Hard Man, and the President. Everyone else you interact with is a hologram. Now, there was doctors. I saw doctors that helped the President.
Did we touch doctors, though? Because...
I don't know. Maybe not. I mean, like, I mentioned it too. I did mention it. I was like, I find it really suspicious that all these places are empty. With the exception of me and Fragile.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Everyone you interact with is a hologram. For trying to connect America again, you sure don't interact with a lot of people. Plus, Sam has some touching phobia, so great guy to send into the world to meet people. Okay, you might have brought up mules as people you encounter in the world, but there's no interaction and they don't do much. You can walk through those camps so easy, they don't even pose a threat. If they see you, just run until you're out of their territory, or shoot them with the bola gun since the maser gun sucks. The biggest threat is the BTs, and honestly, I am still not clear on what to do with them. The first time you encounter them, I went to sneak through, held my breath, then I didn't see them, took a breath, and damn it, the thing was right on top of me, so I guess holding your breath makes them invisible? A bunch of hands came up. I didn't get away, got dragged through a bunch of ink, then some sea creature chased me. You don't even have to sprint, just keep moving and you should get away fine. I failed every time there's a BT encounter. I always get seen, even when I'm being sneaky. Then getting away from the hands is a 50-50, and usually I'm running away from a damn squid. It's annoying.
Yeah, that's how most of mine have gone.
Yeah, I mean, once I got the grenades, I was like, all right, let's do this. Bring it on. And you get a ton of that, the crystals for it when you kill them.
The regular BTs or just the Cthulhu whale?
The Cthulhu guys.
Yeah, I haven't fought them. I'm gonna have to do that.
I don't know if I can actually kill the BTs that are just floating there.
I've made a bunch of them disappear by throwing the blood grenades at them.
Okay, well maybe I should try that next time. I'm pretty sure I'm playing on normal, and I've only died once, and that was in Chapter 3, since it wasn't a squid chasing me. It was some wolf thing, and he pounced on me, and I died instantly. So since I actually died, wasn't my body supposed to leave a crater or something like that in the early previews said? So far, the bulk of the game is walking back and forth. Maybe you have a bike, you probably don't. Make enough deliveries to go to the next town until you make enough deliveries to go to the next town until you reach the harbor for the first boss fight.
Great. It's coming up soon.
Yep. Let's touch on the private room and the weird fourth wall breaking stuff Sam does, like winking at the camera, showing you his mini figurines by the pointing at them all weird like. Also, why the hell does the toilet have haptic feedback when you go to number 2? I don't care how the private room is set up. I don't care for how the private room is set up and how you navigate it. I think it could have been done better. I have the brightest colors and the ugliest colors on my hat and glasses and BB and BB. I can find to stick out like a sore thumb to the mules. The haptics in the overworld are a nice touch. They add subtle immersion and are not intrusive at all. I did think the triggers would put up some more resistance if carrying heavier loads, but that's not the case. I thought it would be cool if it did that.
Yep. It is kind of cool using the PS5 controller for this.
Yeah.
It just adds a little bit. Like, you can feel the rain, and you can tell if you're walking on stones or grass. And, I think, like you said, it's not overly done to where it feels too awkward, but it just adds a little bit more diversity. When BB cries, you can hear it through the controller. Probably similar on the PS4, right? Yeah,
BB sounds through the controller. I'll tell you one thing. I've done the boss fight. We need to turn off BB. Because the whole time during that boss fight, it's just him crying.
Yeah.
And it was to a point like my wife even walked in. She's like, what is that sound? I was like, it's this freaking baby in this controller.
It's BB baby.
She's like, what?
Don't have me try to explain. I can't do it.
Don't. I on our first date, she asked me. She knew I was into video games, and she asked me, "So, what's your favorite video game?" I was like, "Metal Gear Solid." She's like, "What's that game about?" And I'm like, "No, not on the first date, please." Let's see here. The haptics in the over. Oh, we already did that. Some other thoughts and questions I've had. Is there a reason why Sam's handcuffs himself to the bed when he sleeps? That's a good question.
Yep.
I don't know. Why are all these grown men sending emails that use emojis more emojis than a high school girl sending a text to her best friend? I think that is the inside joke because of the like system and how arbitrary it actually is. It doesn't actually matter. And I feel like people, 2 generations from now, people are going to talk in just emojis. They'll probably come up with their new friggin' language. Get off my lawn. I find it comical how far across America we are compared to how much we walked. I wish the music would kick in more frequently when you're walking to your destination. Yeah. Timeful is a really cool idea, and one of the more interesting aspects about this game. I have a quick story. I was driving a motorcycle and I went through a river. It submerged completely. I got up on the side of the creek, collected my boxes, then dropped them in a safe location. I went to retrieve my bike since it was halfway above water, and when I walked in the water, it didn't sweep me away, and I was waist deep. The game would not let me get back on it, or pull it out, or attempt to rescue it at all. It was very frustrating. I walked to the delivery building and got some text saying my bike was recovered. I don't know where it is, but I'm sure I'll be building a new one eventually. So the exact same thing happened to me, except I didn't get the message saying my bike was recovered. As far as I know, my bike is still sitting in a river next to Capital Knot City. And I'm already in what looks like Colorado. Mm. So, oh well.
Yeah, you can make a new one at some point, I'm sure.
I'm sure I can. I should touch on the building aspect real quick. I donate to structures I come across if I have the materials on me. I rarely build new. I have no interest in how many likes I have. I don't hate this game, but I'm definitely not in love. I want to see everything explained, and I hope it's worth the monotonous hours we're going to spend walking this dull and lifeless world. P.S. I hope Chad built some zip lines for us. Unfortunately, I won't be able to experience any of this stuff that you guys build because, well, I'm on PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5 version does not carry over.
Oh, they don't connect?
No. As far as I know, the Director's Cut is only playing with Director's Cut people and the regular version is playing with the regular version people.
Oh, that's too bad.
It's fine. I've got plenty of stuff. I found a full-on bridge just built. I gave him a couple of likes. Next email comes in from Jamie. It is titled Sam. Sam? Hi, guys. What the fuck? I mean, I know it's Kojima, and I know he's crazy and weird and makes up the most insane stories, but still, what the fuck? Since I'm only just into chapter 2, this is going to be less theories and more random thoughts. Okay, so what do we know? There has been some apocalyptic event, the Death Stranding. Right now, I feel like that means the dead are left stranded. I'm a genius. So the ocean is death and the land is life, I guess. And right now, the dead are on the beach or stuck in limbo or whatever. Even when Sam dies and comes back, he has to swim through the water to get back to the surface. I expected the handstand monsters to hang upside down when you see them, but whatever. Also, time is all fucked up. And when it rains, you age. I wonder if it was just a superficial thing, like your skin will age if the rain touches it, but considering that cargo also ages, and one of the packages I was delivering was timefall resistant wood, I assume it's more than superficial. Which makes me wonder if Fragile is legit an 80-year-old woman underneath that outfit. I said the same thing. Also, was she wearing some kind of helmet and otherwise completely naked? Yeah. I said the exact same thing. When she got caught in the rain. And did we hit her with the motorcycle? Because I feel like they should change her name if we did. She seems pretty fine. I have to say, they will explain that in Chapter 3. Mm. That is one of there's more to her than that. So one thing about apocalyptic stories that annoys me is when they try to set up civilization without confronting the problem. We're early on in this, so it may still happen, but that was one thing about The Walking Dead that drove me nuts. If your whole settlement could be destroyed with one random death, there really is no hope for the future. You better hope no one dies of a heart attack or stroke in the night. In The Walking Dead, okay, Not so much they can do anything about that, but there is technology in this game. You'd better implant some kind of heart rate monitor to every damn person. Without that, who cares about connecting your cities? Also, when it comes to having to dispose of bodies, you'd think they'd find a better way than having one guy walk the body out to a remote crematorium. I know that it was a last resort, but they seem so technologically advanced. Why are they all hiking? They say that it's remote because of the beryllium in the body and how they can't let that in the air, and yet they're totally fine with Sam walking in covered from head to toe. He even sleeps in the stuff, and apparently no harm done.
It's true.
That's true.
Shower till the morning.
Yeah. They even give some description of all the side effects it can cause while Sam just naps in it. I didn't see those side effects. Oh, wait, yeah, I did. That's just like, you start to like lose your mind. Like you become like, maybe that's what the mules are.
Yeah. Maybe they just
like they
succumbed.
Makes you go crazy. Yeah. Seems like the beat you over the head theme is connections and tethers and bonds, knots, umbilical cords, handcuffs, city connections. Even the handstand monsters have umbilical cords. And if that's not enough, familiar ties seem to be a big thing too. Why? No idea. Maybe someone had a hard time letting go. Kojima is just ridiculous in every way. Dead man, die hard man, fragile, etc., etc. I'm shocked he didn't strong-arm Bruce Willis into playing Die Hard Man. and let's throw a skull mask on Die Hard Man for funds. Thought we haven't met a roller skating boss yet. I'm sure we will eventually. I'm sure there will be even more insanity. Then there's all the shameless product and show placing. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I laughed out loud when Sam went to the toilet and an ad for Ride with Norman Reedus popped up.
Yeah, that was funny.
Isn't that show like canceled?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure that show is canceled or ended.
Product of its time.
Yep. But on the flip side, there are all these beautiful musical scenes that make it seem like it's a beautiful film, and it's breathtaking and lovely. Tired? Better have a Monster Energy drink.
They got rid of those in the director's cut.
Oh, they got rid of the monsters?
Yeah. No, yeah, the Monster Energy drinks. They just call them, like, Bridge energy drinks now.
Ridge is a energy drink?
No, Bridge, I think, like the Bridge.
Oh, Bridge.
Like the company.
Oh, gotcha. Interesting. They must have lost the license to Monster.
Yeah.
But they're still advertising for a show that's not around anymore. All right. Anyways, not sure what the deal is with the Bridge babies yet. I get that they let you see the monsters. Not sure why. Maybe it's because babies are so new to life and therefore closer to the death divide. I fell down a hill with BB and had to rock them to comfort them. That didn't go very well. I hope nobody saw the way I shook that baby.
Yeah, all the times you try and comfort him are not very comforting.
No.
Like when you're in the room.
Sam is very hardcore with that baby.
Yeah, when you were in the room, I thought he was going to go up and, like, caress it. Instead, he just, like, shoves it. Yeah. No shaken baby syndrome, I guess, but not far off.
I guess. I really wish you couldn't damage cargo BB by falling because it is hilarious to watch Sam fall. Also, he is a terrible hiker. The best part about traversing is watching him face plant. It can be super annoying when he can't walk down a slight hill, though. So, are portions of this game online? I keep seeing ladders and ropes from other people, and it says you can like things from other players. I don't understand this concept. Good job, random person. I needed a ladder. I mean, yeah, I think that was one of the big things, was that while you can't play with other people, their structures will show up in your game. And your structures will show up in their game as if you are connected to them.
Yeah, that's interesting because, I feel like these kind of half attempts at multiplayer initially were due to hardware limitations. I'm thinking something like Resident Evil Outbreak. Like, it wasn't really able to do full kind of co-op. But I feel like flash forward to 2019, there really are no technical limitations, I wouldn't think, on this game that would prevent it from being able to incorporate something more integrated. So it seems more just like a conscious choice to have this kind of influence. You know, it's not nothing, but it's not, you know, full multiplayer. And, you know, whereas it used to be, I think, a limitation, now it's a conscious choice.
Yeah, that's definitely deliberate. And I think he's trying to push that whole thing of connectivity, connecting with others.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, it's interesting, I guess, to a degree.
Connecting with others while not physically being there. God, is he going to do that? Is it like we're not actually physically talking to anybody? We're just talking to a hologram.
But you're still connected.
And then the real and the player is also communicating with other people, but not actually physically talking to them. Oh man, I feel like Kojima is really trying to do like the ending to Nier, and he just can't quite get it there. Because Nier had the best thing that happens. Anyway. Lastly, can I be annoyed? Can I be an annoyed Canadian for a minute? Everything is America can save the world. It's up to America to save the human race. Are Kojima and Michael Bay the same person? Seriously. I bet Canadians are just snowblowing the time fall into drifts and calling it a day. The monsters seem to only hang out around water, so I feel like we can just stay where everything is frozen. It'll be alright. Note this would also work in a zombie apocalypse. Honestly, that's one thing, because I used to watch The Walking Dead, and that was the biggest thing for me was, it's clever that even if you die, you still turn into a zombie, no matter what. But eventually, like especially in the South, like it takes place in Georgia.
Yeah,
I'm from Georgia. It gets 100 friggin' degrees in the friggin', summertime. Those rotting corpses would be rotted within 2 weeks.
Yeah, they decay quickly.
Yeah, I don't get it. But anyway, things I still don't understand. What is dooms? Apparently babies don't get any help from our birthday. Why is Sam deathless? Why is there an explosion where a person dies? I get that they become a monster or at the very least attract them, but why an explosion? How do all their cities look pristine and yet any time it rains, things age? Does Fragile's umbrella age? Why the hell doesn't Sam have an umbrella? Does Sam have memory issues? Why did they basically introduce him to his mother? Did he not know that she was the president? He seemed so confused when they said that they needed him to bring drugs to the president. Also, was it seriously just across the compound? This is true. Okay, that's it for me. I can't wait to hear all the thoughts and theories. Well, thank you all for those emails. As far as I can tell, everybody is about as confused as me.
Yeah, I'm eager to see where it goes because, like I said, it's just all wide open at the moment.
There is some sort of time travel happening here. I think that is happening. I don't have proof, but I think that's what the case is here.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a key part of it, so I could get behind that, and I would like to see where it goes in that direction. I'd be okay with that.
Sure. I know that both Ken and Anthony suggested to me to go watch the first 2 trailers of the game, like the reveal trailers for them, because he said that those are different experiences that you don't see in the game, or maybe they're just altered in a way. And he said they will make no sense, but then when you finally get that information, they all make sense.
Yeah, there's not a lot in the first trailer.
No, it's just Norman naked on a beach holding a baby crying.
Yeah.
So, the other one has Guillermo del Toro running around with a bridge baby.
In the way he runs, which is not far from a waddle.
Yeah, he's waddling. But yeah, I don't know. It's a very, so far it's a very strange game. I don't hate it. In fact, I'm in a groove. That groove may eventually turn into a ditch that I will Sam Porter bridges out of, which means fall on my face and say, I'm getting kind of sick of this. But we'll see.
Yeah. I'm also intrigued by the fact that I'm still at that point where new things are happening, and not just like event or story-wise, but, getting access to the bike for the first time changes things a bit. Getting access to the grenades changes things. So, like you said, it's still a little bit of a tutorial, so I'm eager to get into the next phase of the game where maybe I have all the tools at my disposal, and I'm curious what the gameplay is like at that point.
Yeah, me too. I remember when Ken was reviewing it, and he was telling me he had the game before it came out, and he was telling me like through DMs and stuff like that. He's like, yeah, this is just a walking simulator, and you're delivering stuff. And then I remember him saying, okay, later on in this game turns into almost Metal Gear.
That could mean a lot of things.
Yeah. I mean, he's like, it becomes a little bit more action oriented.
Yeah.
So, I guess we'll see. Needless to say, I'm excited. I want to see how this plays out.
Yeah, me too.
As far as my theories go, I think it has something to do with time travel, and I'm sticking to my guess, which is far left field guess. Jay Lee would be proud of me. The bridge baby attached to Sam is actually Sam as a baby.
Why do you think it was defective, or considered defective?
I don't know. I'm sure the BB is not actually Sam, but I'm going to say it anyway. Because it's me.
Bold.
Yep. So, there you go.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm definitely enjoying the game, definitely enjoying the mystery. I'm also a little concerned that it will get too repetitive, but so far so good.
From what was said on the N4G radio this past week, Ken and Anthony both agreed that Chapter 8, which is taking place in mountains, is the worst and longest part of that game. So, I guess buckle up. I don't even know how to structure how far to make it. I get the feeling this is going to be 4, maybe 5 episodes.
Yeah, the chapters appear to be quite different in length.
Yeah. From what I understand, Chapter 3 is really long. And then I think they said after 8, the chapters are relatively short, because I guess it ramps up at that point. And I think they said a couple of chapters were just straight up cutscenes and maybe a little bit of action. That was it.
Yeah.
So, I guess get ready. We still got a lot more Kojima coming.
Good. Bring it on.
But if you would like to send us an email, I've got that fixed now. So, you can use drew@ztgd.com, and so far it seems like everything has been fixed, so continue using that one. And if I don't get anything, or if you send me something, send me a DM at least on Twitter and let me know that you sent something. And if I don't get it, I will give you an alternate route to take. If you would like to follow us on Twitter, I am at DML Fury. Matt is at REMGS, and the podcast itself is at ZTGD Phoenix Down. But that's going to be it for us. I do appreciate everybody listening. Thank you for those emails. Keep them coming. We're going to try to get us farther into the game, and next recording, I'm definitely going to have try to set up some theories for
yeah, me too.
For us to go by.
Me too.
But yeah, that's going to be it for us. Until next time, I am Drew.
And I'm Matt.
And we're out of here. Hope you guys have a great week, and we'll be back next week with the continuation of Death Stranding.
Faintly, I'll go to take this head on. Soon I'll come around. Lost and never found, waiting for my words, seen but never heard, buried underground, but I'll keep coming. Make your heart proud. Soon I'll come around.